Hi everybody, we're going to work today on the Pythagorean theorem again. So this is something we started before the break. We worked on it for 1 week, and I don't know if you remember, but we took a bunch of little squares and a bunch of triangles and we cut them out, and we fitted them all together and figured out this idea where all the squares always add up to each other. That's the Pythagorean theorem. We took a quiz on it. Most of you did really, really well. So we're just taking it to the next level. So here's the Pythagorean theorem. Remember, it is a squared plus b squared equals c squared for all right triangles. And you need to remember, it's really important to know like which ones are the a and the b and the c. Okay, so think to yourself, which one's the a, which one's the b, and which one's the c. All right, so we've got a triangle. And it's a right angle down here in the corner. And A, B, and C are specific places on the triangle. A and B are the legs, remember? They're the ones right next to the right angle. And C is always the extra one, the slanted one, the one far away from the right angle. Okay, C is called the hypotenuse. Do you remember that weird word? Hypotenuse. So it's just important that you know where to put all of the pieces when we get into the problems. All right, so let's review this one. And we can use calculators, so if you haven't yet, grab a calculator, pause the video, grab a calculator, and we are going to get started. So we have a right triangle with a question mark, meaning we don't know that extra side, so we can find that extra side by using the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. A and B are the 12 and the 9. Does it matter what order they go in? No, it does not, as long as one of them is A and one of them is B. So I'm going to put 12 squared plus 9 squared equals C squared. That plus looks a little weird. Sorry about that, that didn't help either. All right, 12 squared plus 9 squared equals C squared. So 12 squared is 144. If you don't know that, put it on your calculator, 12 times 12. Plus 9 squared, 9 times 9, 81, equals c squared. All right, well, the next thing we can do is add. The 144 plus 81 is 225, equals c squared. And then how do we get rid of this square over here? Well, we do the opposite of a square. And the opposite of a square is a square root. It looks like this. That division sign with a check mark on the end, that is where the cancel comes from. The cancel's right over there. And then over here, we have the square root of 225. That's something you can do on your calculator. You type 225, and then you do the square root of it, and it's a little different place on each, calculator, but it's still going to be somewhere that little division sign with a check on it. And you find out that the square root of 225 is 15. So 15 equals C. Some of you on the quiz, you were still writing C squared here. That's not true, it's just C. So the missing side is 15 inches. Just as simple as that, okay? So we have the formula. We put in the numbers. And then we multiplied, and then we added the numbers. And then we did the square root of the numbers, and that gave us our final answer. All right, so that's the kind we did before. But now it's not the hypotenuse that's missing anymore. It's one of the legs. And that's very different. We have to be careful where we put our numbers. Start with the same formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. But now we know the hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse, remember? This long one, this diagonal one, is the hypotenuse, 24, I was about to write 25. 24 squared is the C. Well, now what do we do with the A and the B? Well, we have one of them, 8. 8 squared plus, do we know the other leg? No, we don't. So that becomes the variable. b squared right there. Okay, now what do we do with that? Well, we can solve the exponents. 8 times 8 right here is 64 plus b squared. And then 24 times 24. You know, I don't know that one in my head. So I'm putting that on the calculator. 576. Careful, my b looks a little like a 6, doesn't it? B squared. Now, we have to get the variable alone. How do we get the variable alone? We're going to subtract 64 to both sides. So this now is just solving like a regular equation. We've done this before. So that subtracts. On the left it cancels. So b squared equals whatever is 576, take away 64, 512. And then how do we undo the square? What's the opposite of the square? It's the square root. Square root, square root. This shows the cancel right there. So b equals, and what is the square root of 512? 22.627417. Doesn't matter. It's a decimal this time. That's fine. Just put the round to the tenth place, okay? 22.6. And the label is meters, or M. Okay, so it's the same equation, same formula, but we're putting numbers in different places. And we're putting them in different places because we already know the hypotenuse. So we're putting that over here, and that's an important idea. Let's try that again. So we have one leg is 24, one leg is missing, hypotenuse is 30. Let's try this again. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we know the c squared, 30 squared. Don't just put 30 there, it has to be squared, 30 squared. We know one of the legs is 24. I'm gonna put it in the b for this time to show you that it doesn't matter which one. 24 squared plus, do we know the other leg? No, so we leave it a variable, a squared. All right, we do what we can do at this point. We do whatever math we know how to do. And the next step is to do the exponents. So 24 times 24 is 576. It's from there to 4. Oops. 576 plus a squared equals, what's 30 times 30? I'll give you a hint. It's not 90. It's not 60. 30 times 30 is actually 900, right? Because it's 9 with 2 zeros. So if you're not sure, check it on your calculator. 30 times 30, 900. All right, now what can we do? We got to get that a alone. So we're going to subtract the 576, subtract 576, and that cancels. So we have a squared equals, what's 900 take away 576? 324. All right, now you know what to do, right? To get rid of that square. We do the inverse operation, the opposite operation, which is the square root. Square root. That cancels, so we have just a left over. And what is the square root of 324? 18. Oh, it's a whole number this time. Fantastic. 18. So the final answer here is 18 yards, which means this side would equal 18 yards. Okay? That's how we use the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing sides. All right, one more idea is that right triangles have to follow a squared plus b squared equals c squared. They have to. If they don't follow it, then they're not really right triangles. So we have some examples here. We gotta see, do they make a right triangle? Just yes or no. And this is a review from the quiz, but I wanted to go over it again. So here it is. So all we have to do is start with the formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and put in the numbers. You always put the biggest one as the hypotenuse, as the last, as the c, okay? So that one's going here. So 36 squared plus 48 squared equals 60 squared. Is that a true statement? Let's find out. What's 36 times 36? Type it in the calculator. 1296. And then 48 times 48. Type it in the calculator. 2304. And what's 60 times 60? 3,600. So we have to add these up to find out. Does that equal 3,600? Let's find out. 1296 plus 2304, 3,600. So does 3,600 equal 3,600? Yes, it does. So yes, this is a right triangle. Okay, let's look at some smaller numbers. Great. Just be careful. This one's in the middle, but what is it supposed to represent? Is that the A, the B, or the C? The biggest number is always the C. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 4 squared plus 5 squared equals 7 squared. This one comes over here. All right, what's 4 squared? 4 times 4, 16. What's 5 squared? 5 times 5, 25. What's 7 squared? 7 times 7, 49. And then 16 plus 25 is 41. Does 41 equal 49? No, it does not. So those cannot make a right triangle, right? So those are the two ideas that are going to be on the quiz. We're going to have one triangle with a missing side that's a leg, and we're going to have some numbers, and you have to say, do they add up to make a right triangle, yes or no? Okay, so that's what you're going to be quizzed on. So here's your work. This is what's being assigned starting tomorrow. So today your work was just to come on and watch the lesson. Now, if you want to get started on the work, you can. But if you don't want to, you can leave the work for Wednesday. So here's where the work is. On Schoology, you're going to go to the black coronavirus folder where everything is. Scroll to the bottom. Find the Pythagorean theorem worksheet. You're going to print it. Or just copy down the problems. There's only 4 of them. And then you'll solve the problems, just like we did on the example, this example, where the leg was missing, okay? So, show all your work. You're gonna show the Pythagorean theorem every time, put the numbers in the right places, show your steps, use that calculator, and then that's Wednesday, okay? Thursday, I didn't write this down yet, but I will now. Thursday is homework help. You're going to bring that worksheet and the work that you showed. You're going to show up for a Zoom meeting, grab the link from Schoology. The Zoom meeting will be at 2 p.m. this time, a little later. I think that's going to work better for some of us. So it's not going to conflict with any other classes. I already checked. So it should be 2 p.m. on Thursday. And you're going to come and bring your questions on the worksheet. And just all the questions, I'm going to go over all of them. And then on Friday, well, after the, listen, Friday is a day off technically. So right after the homework help on Thursday is going to be the quiz. It is open notes, okay? And calculator. Are you so lucky or what? You know why I'm doing this for you? Because it's coronavirus break and you're not learning as well as you would be in the classroom. I've got to give you some extra help, and this is your extra help. Open notes and the calculator, okay? You're gonna take the quiz on Thursday. I would suggest taking it right after homework help, right after the Zoom meeting, because that's when you're gonna have everything fresh in your mind, okay? You can take it on Friday, you can take it on next week if you want to, but next week is spring break, so I would take it right away if I were you. And then also turn in the work from this week, okay? That worksheet on Thursday, kind of after the homework help. You've got it all written down. Use it for the quiz. So you're going to use it for the quiz, and then you're going to turn in the worksheet on Schoology. Just like we did last week, we turned something in, you took a picture, You click on the assignment, you click submit, and that way it's all turned in, okay? And then your week is done. Then you're ready to go into spring break and everything's ready, okay? All right, so bring your questions to the homework help on Thursday. I'll see you at 2 p.m. and I'll answer all the questions about the worksheet. Make sure you guys understand everything you need to before the quiz. So I will see you then. And until then, take care of yourselves. Be good, make good choices, all that. And we'll talk to you soon. We'll see you on Schoology. Thanks. Bye-bye.